you going so fast tonight? Have you ever stopped beside the road to smell the rose of life? Take a breath now, don't hold it in too long, 'cause you might end up missing out on life's short little song.
Hey guys, Shane here, Flight Simmer. Welcome to another episode of Test Drive. If you haven't seen these videos before, this is where I take a piece of utility, a scenery or an aircraft, and I'll give you my first impressions and we'll take it for a test drive around the block. And if that interests you, please stick around, watch the video, give us a thumbs up, and if you really like it at the end, please subscribe and you can see more content. So, in today's episode, we're going to take a look at Just Flight's new release, which is the PA-28R Turbo Arrow 3 and 4. So this may seem familiar, you might have actually seen some of these in my previous videos, but this is actually the new version. So previously we looked at the Arrow 3, this is the actual turbo version of it, and you're pretty lucky because you actually come with 2 aircraft for this package. So particularly today we're going to be looking at the T-Wing variant, which is the 4, but this thing is a little pocket rocket. So we thought the Arrow 3 was good. Well, this one's got a little bit more horses underneath the hood and a lot more fun to play with. So let's take a look around the aircraft to get started. So we're going to take a bit of a walk around like we normally do, and straight away we are into the superb textures for the Just Flight Arrow Turbo 4 4K textures. And tell you what, I'm actually filming this on a 4K screen and it looks absolutely sensational. So just gives you those flight sim tingles, if you know what I mean. So cool thing is, actually with the 2 different variants you get 5 liveries a piece, and this is the North American livery as we are in PAVD in Alaska, and coming up to the T-Wing, and as you can see everything is really detailed. You can see every rivet, you can see every nook, every cranny, and if you haven't actually seen my King Air, I love T-Wings, absolutely big fan. But I'll stop geeking out about it and I'll give you some information about the aircraft. So it was actually made using real world aircraft plans, so that's why it's quite detailed. There's numerous animations with this one. Passenger door, baggage door, cockpit window, sun visor, and the oil cover, which I'll show you a little bit later. You've got all the ground equipment with chocks and tie downs, which you'll see in a little bit. All the bump and mapping used throughout the aircraft is truly a 3D feel. So obviously that's from the website, but I reckon they actually back up what they say. So there's the tie downs there, you got the chocks in place. So the turbo it's a small aircraft, but it's actually a 4-seater, but to complement that, it's actually a piston turbo charge. It has retractable gears, which always keep it cool, that extra thing. So when you go gear up, you can actually put your gear up. And we take a quick look at the propeller and the details inside the engine. You can actually see all the scuff marks in there, but they are on the turbo. You actually use a constant speed propeller. I just love looking at the landing gear and underneath. They do a really cool job. But as you can see, she's very beautiful and she sounds awesome too. So we're going to jump in the cockpit so we can get us started, and you can see and hear, I should say, the sounds of Turbone Studios recording for the turbo. So let's go. Now before we get started, the turbo has the same options as the previous Arrow. You can actually go into menu and you can pop the oil cap up and you can check your oil, refill your fuel, check your quantities, recharge your battery, and you have to maintain your own aircraft. So really feels like with those options and features that you own this thing. Now it's time to fire the turbo up. We'll just click it over. And you can hear those awesome sounds. A little bit softer, obviously with a turbo. It's not as loud as the normal piston engine you find in the Arrow. If you want to see the full startup procedure, I'll leave a link in the description from a previous video I've already done. But we'll get this thing configured and we'll start taxiing. Alrighty, so we're ready to pull out a PAVD, and geez, it looks gorgeous today. with those mountains and the clouds in the background. But I will say, please excuse my taxiing as I go straight down the apron line and not down the taxiway. But one thing that basically the turbo is very convenient for actually taxiing. It goes pretty much dead straight, so you really don't have to worry much about the speed wobbles or anything like that, and just mucking around with your pedals too much. It goes where it should do, and it's actually a pleasure to do taxiing. But we'll keep going down to the runway, and we'll get ready for takeoff. So we're all set up for takeoff. Flaps, I'm not actually putting flaps down on this one. Fuel quantity is just under 50%. And I'm actually thinking, because this is turbo, and just looking at the speedo there, this thing should take off pretty quickly. But I'll be a little bit quiet now. You guys can listen as we take off. I'll pop the wing view up and I'll come back to you shortly. So cheers. How good was that? Did you see the needle go from 50 to 70 like lightning? Gears are going up, by the way, and it is just with minimal movement on the stick. It's basically flying in a straight line, and she is moving along. I should be doing best possible climb speed of 79, but we'll get that sorted out shortly. Awesome takeoff. Anyways, we'll leave you with some views as we are departing PAVD, and I'll come back to you soon.
She's saying, ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. Ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh.
Absolutely stunning views as we're flying out of PAVD. Look at that. So obviously you can see this variant of the turbo is the tan color. In the turbo version 3 will actually come in the blue and grey version. As you can see, I've got the GTN, so it's GTN compatible, and I believe so that's the GTN 750. I think it is compatible with the 530, but it has the traditional or the original comm stack in there and GPS in the actual device, but I've actually swapped them over because if you're going to fly a GA, the GTN 750 is actually pretty good. Now with all the just fly to arrow planes there, so you've actually can do a couple of things. You can actually bring down a different option. I'm actually not going to show you, just going to run through it quickly. You've seen it in probably other videos that are done, but you've got a checklist, so you can actually interactively checklist for every part of the flight. It's even got emergency procedures in there. Also it has computer management, so you can see different things like your wind conditions, also your fuel burn ratio. You've got all that, and also it actually has a logbook as well, so you can actually log all your flights and be interactive. Also, with the interactive menu, you can select cold and dark, or ready for taxi, I believe, or ready for takeoff. So that's always handy if you want to quickly get up for flight, or if you like maybe these GA aircraft. I really like starting from cold and dark. And I'll actually give you an interesting fact. This is actually the second attempt I've done at actually this flight. So I got up to this part last time, but I really actually gunned it full throttle all the way, got up to about 11,000 feet full throttle, and wasn't, just wanted to see what I could do, and wasn't really looking after my engines. And the next minute I've got fire coming out and actually smoke. So it actually really portrays that quite well. So make sure you look after your engines, or you'll have an airborne fire like myself. But anyways, as you can see with the cockpit, all the gauges are done in 3D, but we'll come back shortly and we'll take a quick tour of the actual cockpit and the cabin. Won't take long, as a small plane, so I'll talk to you soon. So we've hit our cruising altitude of 7,000 feet, and we're humming along just under 120. I've probably only got maybe about 60% of the throttle, so we're really cruising, conserving fuel. But we're going to go and actually take a look at the cabin. So we'll actually remove the yoke and we'll take a bit of a look around. So again, they've done an absolutely superb job of the textures. It obviously doesn't have as much wear and tear, but still a bit, because this aircraft, I believe, was about 1977 when it was around. So as you can see, there's a bit of dirt and stuff left on the carpet there. You can see the scuff marks where your shoes have been, and obviously the actual cockpit instrument panel is in better nick than previous, but on the previous Arrow, that was an older plane, and the yokes are in better nick, but they go through and do absolutely fantastic work. You get the dashboard there, and you can see some of the paint coming off on the actual yoke. But all in all, that the actual aircraft is a wear and tear, but it's in a better nick than the Arrow was. Pretty cool. One of the best chair textures that I've seen in a GA aircraft. So they've absolutely modelled everything. Even look at the belt, the little button thing on the belt's all in 3D. So we'll make our way through the back of the cabin into our passenger seats. Did find this little lining there, so that's obviously a bit of a glitch. So I'm sure they'll actually pick that up and fix that. Looks a bit odd, but it really gives it character. You've got a mat on one side of the aircraft and not on the other. So really cool, but it looks quite familiar on the back than the previous Arrow, but they've done an absolutely good job. But everything's sort of, it's wear and tear, but it's kept nice and clean. And going back there, you can see, look, all the bits of thread and dust and dirt, and it looks like a thread of cotton there on the carpet. Awesome job. Now we'll take a quick squeeze out the window. Geez, the baggage gets a good view. Anyways, that's a view from the back. We'll go straight up into the cockpit, and I'll leave you there, and we'll do a bit of a montage on the outside of the turbo, and then we'll get ready for approaching to landing.
You've got one life to live, don't let it go.
Welcome back to the cockpit. So the Turbo 4 looks just as good as inside as what it does outside in that montage. I would have to say that's probably one of my favourite montages that I've done. It really suited the background of the actual flight there, and it looks absolutely stunning. So we're coming towards our end of our 400 nautical, actually 256 nautical mile flight. So obviously you guys only seen snippets of it, but we'll start preparing to descend, and I'll come back to you when we're on our approach so you can see the landing. So we're on approach into ORBX's Yakult. So you've basically had ORBX, and ORBX on this flight, but it doesn't look stunning. Can't wait to check it out in V4. Anyways, we're about just under 1,500 feet and 4 nautical miles out. We've got the ILS dialed in, so we're pretty much on the money. In this flight on approach speed, we should be about 79 to 75 approach speed, 2 notch of flaps. And we're descending about 600 feet per minute, so we're pretty much on the glide slope there, and we'll taper off towards the end. But anyways, I'll stop gas bagging and I'll pop up side wing view and enjoy the ride into Yakult.
$500.
Not too bad, just floated in a little bit as I come a bit too quick, but that was such a cool landing. It really had that immersive feel flying into Yakult with the turbo arrow. But we'll take a quick look at the replay and then I'll come back give you a quick summary.
You've got one life to live, don't let it go. Can you let go of it all tonight? Or will you decide to push on through and ignore the words inside? Take a breath now, don't hold it in too long, 'cause you'll find you're missing out a last short little song. Just saying, ooh, you've got one life to live.
So my first impressions on Just Flight's PA-28R Turbo Arrow 3 and 5. So we just 3 and 4. We just flew the T-wing version, which was the 4 in this. It's just as good as the previous Arrow. It's the previous Arrow was a study sim. This is a GA study sim. It's just as good as the A2A stuff. Really fun to fly. This one obviously is a turbo, so it's got a bit more horsepower, so you can actually, climb a little bit quicker. You can fly to place to place quicker, so you can do longer flights. So that was probably more fun. If I would actually say which one am I going to fly more, it's probably going to be this one. It's a bit unique with the T-wing and it goes quicker. So really enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit a thumbs up before you go. Appreciate it, really means a lot. And if you like the content and you haven't done already, please hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about it. It's really important, and I actually do videos like this every week and also do streaming videos each week now. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Cheers, goodbye.